The world never expected a Filipino pilot to change the way an international air force viewed skill, courage, and heart. But that is exactly what happened the day the UN Air Force invited pilots from different nations to join a high-level joint training mission, a mission so advanced that even some of the most experienced pilots felt nervous. At first, nobody paid attention to the Filipino pilot standing quietly at the back of the room. His uniform was simple, his expression calm, and his presence almost invisible compared to the bigger nations with louder personalities and more advanced military technology. But hidden behind that quiet presence was something nobody in that room could mess or unmatched instinct, natural flying talent, and a lifetime of learning how to survive storms in the sky. The moment he stepped into the aircraft, everything changed. Before the mission started, the UN Air Force commanders explained the challenge, a simulated emergency scenario where pilots had to fly through unpredictable winds, sudden system failures, and near-zero visibility. Many pilots whispered that it was almost impossible to complete. Some even laughed and said, "Let's see how the smaller countries handle this." The Filipino pilot stayed silent. His calmness surprised everyone. When he took off, the observers expected him to struggle. But within seconds, they saw something that made them lean forward in disbelief. His reflexes were sharper than the winds hitting his aircraft. His movements were clean, controlled, and unbelievably smooth, as if the plane was an extension of his own body. When strong turbulence hit, most pilots panicked, but the Filipino pilot simply adjusted with a move so precise that even the instructors paused and said, "Who is that?" They watched as he navigated the skies with the confidence of someone who had lived inside the clouds his entire life. Then, the test became more difficult. The simulator initiated a sudden engine malfunction. Many pilots had failed the training at this point. The Filipino pilot. He switched to manual mode instantly, stabilizing the aircraft with a level of control that shocked the entire command center. He didn't overreact. He didn't freeze. He simply trusted his instincts built from countless hours training in unpredictable tropical weather, flying rescue missions during typhoons, and learning to stay calm even when the sky became dangerous. The UN officers were stunned. They expected him to struggle. Instead, he outperformed pilots from nations known for elite aviation programs. But the real moment that shocked the world had not yet happened. As part of the final stage of the test, pilots had to rescue a simulated aircraft in distress. Most failed. Some didn't even attempt because it required a near-impossible maneuver, flying dangerously close to another aircraft while both were losing altitude. The commanders were already discussing how nobody would complete the challenge when the Filipino pilot made a move so bold that the entire control room went silent. He tilted his aircraft at an angle no one expected, using the wind to glide instead of fight it. He aligned himself with the falling aircraft, matching its speed with perfect accuracy, then guided it away from a simulated crash zone. This wasn't just skill. This was mastery. This was something only a pilot with deep intuition could pull off. When the simulation ended, the control room erupted. One commander said, "I've never seen anything like that in my career." Another added, "That Filipino pilot just changed the standard in on." Instantly, the quiet man nobody noticed became the center of global attention. Pilots from other countries approached him with admiration. Officers shook his hand and congratulated him. Even the strictest evaluators, the ones known for never showing emotion, applauded him. But the moment that touched the world the most came during the interview afterward. When asked how he managed to perform at a level that shocked everyone, he didn't brag. He didn't take credit. He simply sighed. "Filipinos always get the best equipment or the newest planes. But we make the best of what we have. We train hard and we learn fast. And we fly with heart." That one sentence spread across the world. News outlets reported it. Aviation communities discussed it. People admired how a quiet Filipino pilot with no fancy background outperformed some of the most privileged pilots on Earth. The UN Air Force issued an official statement acknowledging his performance as one of the best in the history of the program. They even rewrote parts of their training manual, inspired by the techniques he used during the simulation. Weeks later, the Filipino pilot became a symbol of excellence, resilience, and humility. His story proved that greatness doesn't depend on wealth, fame, or powerful equipment. Sometimes it comes from a small nation with a big heart. Sometimes it comes from a pilot who grew up watching planes from the ground, dreaming that one day he could touch the sky. And when he finally touched it, he didn't just fly. He made the world look up in awe. If you want, I can now create SEO, title description, tags, hashtags, thumbnail concepts. A second version of the script, a shorter or longer rewrite, just tell me.